On this episode of In the Kitchen with the Greater Fort Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival, we're back at Culinary Convenience. Today we're hanging out with Chef Bret from Hell's Kitchen fame. Come inside as we make some risotto. Hey, Chef.
Hey, photobomb by the chef.
We're talking about you.
Talking about me?
We're talking about you.
What about me?
We're talking about how this episode is with you.
Hey, here I am. Chef Breezy on your screen, baby.
We're back in the kitchen at Culinary Convenience today with Chef Bret.
Good evening, good evening. Thank you so much for having me.
Likewise.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Chef, I know that you have a unique story. I can't just walk into a restaurant and have you behind the kitchen, or have you in the kitchen making us food.
No, those days are over.
So as we go through your menu this evening, I'd like you to kind of walk me through what's your story, how do I hire you, how do I not hire you, just what makes you special that people should hire you. But first, before we get into that, what are we making today?
So tonight we're making a shrimp risotto with a pomodoro saffron broth. Most famously known for my season of Hell's Kitchen 18, where Gordon Ramsay has a risotto on the menu every season. And the contestants this season were asked to replace it, and mine was the winner. So tonight we're going to be preparing that.
So how many times did you screw it up? Because I know he's famous for walking around going, how
Well,
did you
in
fuck
life,
risotto?
I've made it a million times in life. That particular episode, I didn't screw it up, fortunately, hence why I won. So it was a one and go. You know, we had 45 minutes to make a risotto, which generally takes about 30 minutes or so. So I had to make it right the first time, and fortunately, I did. So tonight we're gonna do a little bit of olive oil. Just start with about a tablespoon in the pan, right? We're gonna get that heated up. In here I have some shallots and some thyme, about a tablespoon of shallots, one sprig of thyme.
Shallots.
So we'll get that going. All right, stir that in, and what that's gonna do is that we're gonna sweat the shallots, and we're gonna saute this thyme. So thyme is a very hard herb, so with it being sauteed, it'll release all the oils into the olive oil and the shallots. So a Borio, a lot of people see the end result of risotto and it looks creamy, but there's in fact no cream in a risotto. It's actually the starches releasing from the rice that create that with the warm stock.
That is a fun fact.
So yeah, so we'll just get that going there. You know, wooden spoon always works best for that. Rubber spatula to fold in your fats at the end. We'll get into that when the risotto's almost done.
So Chef, as you're doing this, tell me a little bit about you. How do we hire you? How do people find you?
My Instagram is at Chef Bret, one word. My email is on my business card. It will show that at the end as well.
And it's Chef Bret with one T.
One T, that is correct. Chef Bret with one T. I'm pretty easy to find on there. And I do in-home private parties, intimate dinners, weddings, bar mitzvahs, barbecues, any and everything food related. So people can hire me if there's no party too big or too small. So you can see now the shallots are starting to get a little bit of color with the thyme. You can smell that fragrance.
Absolutely.
Right, we're gonna add our arborio rice. We're gonna work that around, right? So that we'll get a nice toast on the rice there, right? To get per portion, you're looking at about 2 ounces of arborio rice for a nice full portion per person. So then we just got some nice cooking wine, Sauvignon Blanc or Pinot Grigio. We're just gonna drop in 1 ounce of that. What that does is that adds that nice dry liquor flavor, that wine, right? And deglaze the pan.
You can smell it.
Absolutely. So what we'll do is we'll cook that down a little bit so that we get all the flavor, but we get none of the alcohol, right? So then little by little, what'll happen is the wine will evaporate, and then we're gonna add 4 ounces of seafood stock, which has been warmed little by little, right?
And if you want the alcohol, just drink it straight.
Well, I suppose you could do that, of course. So we're gonna do little by little. And this particular risotto is a pomodoro risotto, which is a tomato in Italian. So we did prepare, I have some marinara sauce prepared that I have, which also I have a line of salad dressings and pasta sauces that I make. It's called Pilatos. It's where my mother's family actually comes from Italy. So
Can I buy this?
You certainly can, actually. This is available for purchase via my Instagram. I'm working on the website now. So everything is kind of coming to, so it's a new business venture for me.
And the Instagram is at Chef Bret
At
with
Chef
one T.
Bret with one T. Medical marijuana is a thing in Florida. My sauces, I'm hoping to get them into dispensaries and infuse them with CBD and THC for medical patients.
Absolutely.
So what we're gonna do is just go little by little, and you'll notice that the liquid, the stock, in this case seafood stock, will start to evaporate and evaporate. You wanna continue to move your risotto around. What that do is that'll release the starches in the rice. So we're just gonna let that cook down. Right, so you'll notice that the risotto, so you keep moving it around, see a lot of that liquid has been evaporated, so it's cooking into the rice, right? So we'll just continuously keep adding little by little, 3 ounces at a time. little by little, and it'll just, you'll notice it'll keep evaporating. What that does is
Can we trade places so I feel like I'm helping?
Absolutely, yeah. So what'll happen is
I'll just move.
Yeah, you literally can just stir the rice. Like I said, this was done in Hell's Kitchen, and it's fairly simple. It's a one-pan dish that anybody can do in the comfort of their own home. And then that'll, like I said, that'll just continuously cook down, add a little bit of stock, a little bit of stock, a little bit of stock. And then of course at the end, we a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. Of course, we'll also finish a risotto with Parmesan cheese, which is also very salty. So we'll, salt at the end to make sure that we have just the right amount. You don't want to oversalt your food. So now it's getting a little bit thick, it's getting this, so we're gonna add a little bit more stock to that.
Here I thought I was done.
Right? No, see the rice is still pretty hard. Little by little, you'll be able to tell. You'll see the rice will start softening up, and then, you wanna have it al dente, which is, still cooked, but have a little bit of bite to it, not too much, like a nice, perfectly cooked risotto.
So on average, how long does this dish take to make?
Risotto is about a 25-minute dish, but the best part about it, it's a one-pan dish.
And chef, as a private chef for hire, is there any fun story you could tell that won't get you in trouble?
Well, I mean, I've had the opportunity, fortunately, to work for some high-profile entertainers, and they're fun. Let's just say, the music videos they create or some of the content that they do. It's been interesting to work for some of the clients I have. New Year's party at Sean Combs' house is a phenomenal time where we're putting out food for up to 2,000 people. I'm cooking for a lot of athletes, during their season when I have to keep them, high protein and high this and that and certain dietary menu items. That way they can, keep their bodies in top physical condition.
So do you work with the trainer?
Trainers, dietitians, nutritionists. With some of these clients, I most certainly have. Okay. Absolutely. We have to, to create a meal plan, whether it's with Sean Combs, it was, 1,500 calories a day for 3 weeks while he was getting ready to go, perform on tour. Like, we had to make his body right, between the diet and the exercise is really what it is. So you notice that the grains are starting to get bigger and bigger. They're absorbing the stock and absorbing the stock.
You can also feel it as you're stirring it.
Right, you'll see them starting to get softer, right. So we just add little by little, a little bit of stock, warm stock always. We're using a seafood stock today. Being that we're using a shrimp risotto, we're gonna use a shrimp and saffron broth. Real nice, vibrant flavors. Goes real well with the nice, sweet and salty shrimp.
We are Florida's Hollywood, a city on the East Coast, just a short drive from where you are, with a list of activities as long as our award-winning oceanfront Broadwalk, and a mix of large resorts and boutique hotels, and eateries from which to choose. We are the perfect local setting for a change of scenery and a splash of fun. We are Florida's Hollywood, just a short drive from where you are.
Right, how's that feeling? We getting there?
Yeah.
So we'll pull out a tasting spoon, and when you think it's almost soft enough, go ahead and get a taste on it. We're gonna put that.
Oh, the guy who's
sauce
never
in.
made risotto before, you're gonna make him go when you think it's soft enough.
Yeah, well, we'll see what you got there, right?
All
we'll
right.
teach you today. You know what rice is supposed to taste like, right? What the mouthfeel is supposed to be like. So we just added just a tablespoon of the marinara sauce that I make. Give it a little bit of the, because tomatoes will add the acid too, and when you're cooking with risotto, there's a lot of fat with the cheese and the butter, so you want to add a little acid to cut through the fat. It's a little chef tip for the folks at home. Always a little acid to cut the fat.
Now, chef, did you go to school to?
So
to learn this?
I left high school and I was went to culinary school just for a little bit, but then I actually dropped out, which I don't condone. But I decided to go get a job in New York. I left Florida. I was 18 years old, and I had a job opportunity in New York with some friends and family to go run an Italian restaurant up there. So I took the opportunity and did not finish school. I did not get any culinary degrees, which for some people, but I fortunately have been able to make a life and a career out of this cooking thing without it. But I would suggest it.
But you have a passion for it.
I most certainly have a passion for it. I've had a passion for it since I was a child. Cooking at home with my family is where it started as a child. So that's looking pretty nice. So let's see what we got here. All right. It's hot and delicious. So we just put a little bit more. We got another about 90 seconds or so cooking, so I don't even know how long that was, maybe 20 minutes or so. Also, you'll cut down your cook time. When your stock is warm, you always want to use a warm base. So we're gonna add a little bit of pepper. Let that toast off a little bit with the rice, right? You want to cook the pepper a little bit. Get that nice and toasty. So we're gonna turn this down. Looks like we're almost there. All right, we had a nice texture on there. Put a little bit more stock in. We're gonna put a knuckle of butter So I generally cut my butter sticks into slices, try to get about 6 to 8 slices per quarter pound of butter. We call them a knuckle in the restaurant business.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody say a knuckle
A knuckle of butter, right? We call that. It's it's just a little chef chat. So and then we'll do that, and then we'll add about 2 teaspoons of Parmesan cheese, and then a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. Then we have some baby arugula we're going to finish it with. So then we're just going to put in a butter here. We're going to fold in this butter. Go ahead and melt that all in nice and creamy there. How's that coming? Feel all right? Nice and soft and whatnot?
Absolutely.
All right.
Every time it starts to thicken up, you add another ingredient just to make it worse.
Put a tablespoon of Parmesan cheese in there. So risotto should never stand, right? It should always be nice and creamy. If you have a plate of risotto and it's like up and standing up, it's no good, right? It's too thick. It's more of a rice. Risotto should be creamy. Should be able to move around the plate. So I don't know about you, but I feel like we got a nice solid product. Plating spoon and go center of the dish. So I used to see Ramsay plate the risotto right in the middle and go like this. And if it would go like that to the edge of the plate, you know you had a solid product because it was creamy enough to move on the plate where it wouldn't just stand still.
So I could win Hell's Kitchen with this?
I'm sorry?
I could win Hell's Kitchen with this?
I don't know about winning Hell's Kitchen, but I know for sure you would have won that risotto challenge. So then we're just gonna finish it with a little bit of baby arugula, add a nice peppery taste, you know, some earthiness, a little bit of crunch to it.
As you're plating food in general, is there a key to presentation?
I like to plate three-dimensional, where no matter how you look at the plate, it always appears the same to you. When the waiter or waitress or staff is presenting a dish, there's no right way, fortunately, right? And also
so you're not letting anybody else screw up your presentation.
Right, and also that you want to get some nice height on it, you know, and especially in this day and age where everybody's TikTok, Instagramming, Facebooking, and everything, social media with the pictures.
I was TikToking.
You know, nowadays you want to make your food also photogenic, of course.
Chef, through the magic of television, we now have shrimp cooking.
Yeah, what I did is I took some 1620s, which 1620 means that's how many there is per pound. When the numbers on the shrimp, when you see U10s, U12s, that means that's the average number of those product per pound.
Okay.
So I took a couple of 1620s and I just did a quick saute, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of butter, salt, and pepper. And we're just going to add a protein to this risotto. Right, so we're just gonna put some shrimp on there. You know, just layer them up, make it look nice.
And again, you're doing your three-dimensional.
Right, so there you have it, you know. Very simple, but also so sexy. Shrimp risotto made with a pomodoro and saffron stock.
I always think food should be described as sexy.
So that's funny you mention that because I think a lot of food, especially a lot of my food, I like to consider it simple and sexy, where it's not too difficult to make. A lot of one-pan dishes, the risottos are, you know, braised dishes, and sexy because yes, in fact, food should be sexy. You should be able to look at it and go, ooh, I'm gonna tear that shit up, right? It looks good.
Chef, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you joining us in the kitchen.
Yeah, over here, Culinary Convenience. It's always an honor to be here with Aaron and the team. So
yeah, Aaron and the team at Culinary Convenience are great partners of ours. If you've never been to Culinary Convenience, you can always stop by. It's on Andrews and 84.
Toys R Us for us in the yachting business, or chefs, or bartenders, or it's our version of Toys R Us.
Last time I was here, I bought a pasta maker. I still don't know what I'm doing with it.
Oh, I got recipes for you.
Chef showed me what to do, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Semolina flour. So don't even use regular AP or 00 flour. Semolina, water. 3 parts semolina, 1 part water, salt to taste. Now
I already
you can
forgot
take some squid ink and put it in the water. So now you have black, salty spaghetti. Oh yeah, super simple. Again, super sexy.
Yeah, so I'm gonna call you to
Well, you have my cards.
That.
I'm available. Like I said, Instagram is the best way to get a hold of me, or email.
At Chef Bret with one T.
Chef Bret with 1 T. My Instagram, I'm doing cooking videos, cooking tips sometimes. A lot of my clients are always giving me shout outs and whatnot, so there's, you know, always fun food videos on there.
Chef, again, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
This has been another episode of In the Kitchen with the Greater Fort Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.